Tired of scrubbing dishes after every meal? What if I told you the struggle ended thanks to one forgotten genius? Meet Josephine Cochrane, the woman whose invention revolutionized our kitchens, but whose name was nearly lost to history. Stay till the end to discover why you should thank her every time you hear your dishwasher hum. Let's rewind to the 1880s, a world dazzling with new electric lights and telephones, but still shackled by endless dirty dishes. In the city of Shelbyville, Illinois, Josephine Garris Cochrane's life was as bustling as any. Born into ingenuity, her grandfather invented the steamboat. Josephine was raised to believe in possibility. She was educated, spirited, and married to a prominent businessman, William Cochrane. Their home was the town's social hub, famous for lavish dinners and gleaming china. But beneath the surface, Josephine faced a hidden nemesis: household drudgery. Every elegant evening ended in dismay as her precious porcelain suffered chips and cracks despite the efforts of her household staff. The bad B-roll of daily life played out in endless sinks filled with soapy water, the mundane soundtrack of women's lives. If you can relate to dreading after-meal cleanup, comment below with your worst dishwashing disaster. Josephine's frustration wasn't just about inconvenience, it was about dignity, efficiency, and a constant reminder of what society expected from women. The invention she would create wasn't born from idle tinkering, it was an act of rebellion. But first, let's look at the personal storm that brought her to the brink. The years that followed dealt Josephine a crushing blow. Her husband's sudden death left her widowed with mountains of debt. Now, the social world was gone. Survival became her daily battle. Alone, Josephine chose not to remarry, but, astonishingly, to fight for her independence, a radical act in an era that barely saw women as legal adults. Bills piled up, creditors circled, but in her darkest moments, Josephine's mind raced with a revolutionary idea. She asked the question few dared: why, in a world of steam power and innovation, were dishes still washed by hand? Servants broke heirlooms. Hot water scalded skin. Time, her most precious resource, dripped away with every rinse. Josephine wanted a machine, but the world bristled with obstacles. The first attempts at dishwashers were failures. Hand-cranked, leaky, ineffective, and designed by men who hadn't spent hours at the sink. Want to guess how many dishwashers were on the market before Josephine? Type your answer in the comments. Josephine decided, if no one else could fix it, she would. In her backyard toolshed, she began to map out the impossible. Josephine wasn't an engineer. She didn't have a degree. But what she did have was relentless grit. She sketched blueprints on brown paper, drafted rack designs with the help of a local mechanic and a motley crew of machinists. Days turned to nights as she obsessed over a new vision. Rather than scrub dishes flat, what if water was blasted onto them in a rack, heated and pressurized? Her solution was Boulder copper boiler, a wheel that turned with a motor, and wire racks perfectly fitted for delicate cups and plates. In 1886, her prototype roared to life. Dishes sparkled, nothing broke. History was made in a backyard workshop, and Josephine received US patent number 355,139 for her dishwashing machine. But invention is half the struggle, getting people to care is the other. Josephine lugged her bulky machine to Chicago's 1893 World's Fair, where skeptical onlookers doubted a woman could lead a technological revolution. But she stunned the crowd when her machine outperformed human hands, faster, safer, and cleaner. Soon, hotels and restaurants clamored for her device. Orders trickled in. Josephine founded her own company, unheard of for a woman, and a direct challenge to gender norms. Can you imagine pitching a radical idea to a room that doubts your very existence? Comment below if you've ever been underestimated. Josephine's story is fuel for us all. Despite her growing success, Josephine faced fierce headwinds. Home kitchens, at the time, lacked the plumbing or hot water reservoirs necessary for her machine, making it a luxury for only the richest homes or large-scale restaurants. Male-dominated business circles snubbed her. Investors hesitated, uncomfortable with a woman leading a manufacturing enterprise. Her triumphs at expositions translated slowly into actual sales. Josephine poured her heart and dwindling finances into demonstration after demonstration. As the years slipped by, Josephine continued to refine her invention, sacrificing comfort and enduring heartbreak for the hope of a fair reward. When she died in 1913, Josephine was remembered by only a handful of innovators. Her company, later swallowed up by the KitchenAid and Hobart brands, erased her name. And soon, even her neighbors forgot the woman who'd changed household life forever. For decades, her legacy lay buried by sexism and the relentless march of commercial branding. She became the forgotten genius behind every humming dishwasher. Why do you think Josephine was overshadowed? Share your theories in the comments. The stories we tell matter. Today, over 2/3 of modern homes in developed countries own a dishwasher. But how many remember whose vision made it possible? Josephine Cochrane didn't just automate dishwashing, she offered women and household workers a rare chance at freedom. Precious hours reclaimed in kitchens across the globe. Her story shatters the myth that invention is only for the privileged, the formally trained, or the mighty. Josephine's legacy is a rallying cry. Resilience and courage create revolutions, even in the most unlikely places. The next time you load your plates and press start, remember it took a woman's fury, ingenuity, and grit for that simple modern magic to exist. If you value stories of true genius, history almost forgot, smash that follow button. Let's never let visionaries like Josephine fade into obscurity again. And tell us, whose forgotten story should we bring to life next? Because here, even when the footage is shaky and the B-roll is bad, we shine a spotlight on those who truly changed the world.